Greetings, my fellow watch enthusiasts on YouTube and Facebook and wherever this video is being seen. It's Celine Driver again. Wanted to do a video that was suggested by one of my subs. And by the way, thank you to all the old and new subscribers to my channel. I believe I have crossed the 350 subscriber threshold. Not a lot compared to, say, guys like Tristano over at Urban Gentry, or even places like Long Island Watch or Frederico's channel, to be sure. But for a little channel by an amateur like me who doesn't do any fancy editing or anything like that, I appreciate it, and I'm glad to see the channel is growing. Maybe sometime in my lifetime we'll get to 1,000. Who knows? Anyway, one of my subs suggested, since I had done two videos very recently about very similar looking watches, these two, of course, my aquamarine swordfish from Zelos, and my recently acquired Squale 1521 Onda Laguna, which is sort of a bluish green face, that I should do a quick comparison to them. And since they are similar style watches, I thought, yeah, it's a good idea. I think I'll do that. So kind of an unscripted, off the cuff comparison between the two. If you want details about either one, I have videos, of course, unboxing videos on both of them. Please just look at my list of videos and you'll find them fairly easily. This one happens to be the Seiko movement, the NH35 movement version of this watch, although there is a version of this watch with an ETA. And this watch, the Squale, of course, is already an ETA movement. Oh, and before I go any further, yes, both crowns are unscrewed. Both are screw-in crowns. Both are unscrewed. I got 3 separate questions on that in the past week. I always leave my watches with the screw-down crowns unscrewed because I wind them fairly frequently, and as you can see, those are very fine threads, and constant screwing and unscrewing in the past has caused me much sorrow with a few watches of the threads being stripped. So I only screw them down when I wear them. So hopefully that covers that. Where was I going with that? Oh yeah. So I am going to make remarks about this watch with the ETA version, but this is not an ETA. But essentially, they're the same watch externally, except the ETA actually has a date window, whereas the Seiko didn't. They are similar in style. They are actually very similar in size. They're both 42. Actually, this one is supposed to be 42.5 millimeter. I believe they're both actually 42.5 millimeter watches. So very similar in size. Of course, they're both dive watches, so very similar in style. Close to each other in thickness. Obviously, the Zelos is a bit thicker, and both have polished stainless steel cases. And now this one, when I did the original unboxing video, for those of you with sharp eyes may remember that it was on a brown leather strap, which smelled beautifully. But I have 2 other Squale 1521s with the mesh band, and I prefer that, so I ordered one from Long Island Watch. It showed up in 3 days, and I put it on between then and now, obviously, and it fits beautifully, and I think it looks better Myself, I think it looks better with the watch than the leather strap. So I changed that. So they both have bracelets now. Obviously, this is a mesh bracelet with removable links, 3 and 3 on there. I took one off each side. This one is obviously a link bracelet in the oyster style with the fold clasp and the diver extension, ratcheting diver extension, so it can actually be used as a micro adjuster, as you can see. Wherever you place it, it locks in place, which is nice. Whereas this one has a double fold clasp, but this thing is a diver extension, which I seriously doubt. But its micro extension is a bit more traditional with the spring bar. Anyway, very similar in color, as you can see. I wouldn't. This one is called Aquamarine. It has a sunburst effect. This one is more of a blue-green, more green than blue, also with a sunburst effect. And obviously a date window on this one. Now, both of them being dive watches and both of them being aimed at similar markets, the ETA version of the Swordfish from Zelos goes, now these are prices that I looked up today, being January 7th, 2018. I went to Zelos' website. This watch with the ETA movement was still available for $649. This watch, on which is exclusive to Namen or Ganamen or whatever, however you pronounce it, is exclusive to them only, according to their website, and is sold out. They told me I bought the last one when I asked. And the retail on this one with an ETA movement is $859. So ETA movement $649, and the Seiko movement on this is sold out. ETA movement on this one $859, and then you have to add another $150 for the bracelet. But let's just compare retail to retail without the accessories. So I guess the main question that would come up in anybody's mind is this one worth $250 more than this one? Now, I cannot say exactly what the accuracy of the ETA version of the Swordfish is, but if it's anything like the accuracy of the Seiko movement, as far as keeping time and not having to fiddle with chasing it's either too slow or too fast, I would say that it's comparable. They're both very similar movements. The construction of both watches is fantastic. The Zelos watch actually is a bit heavier in the hand than the Squale, and owing to the profile of the Swordfish being a little bit thicker and a little bit heavier clasp at the bottom, this is a little heavier. You can see that the bracelet itself is a little bit thicker on the Squale versus the Zelos. And to be fair, the Zelos band bracelet is very flexible. It moves very easily, and it wears very well. And when this is screwed in, well, I'll go ahead and screw it in for you, just so you see that the crown guards do their job very nicely. But when you screw this one in, the crown practically disappears into the side of the watch. So as far as protection of the crown for diving, both of them do a good job. I'd say the Squale is probably a little better due to its unconventional 4 o'clock position, the fact it practically disappears into the case of the watch. But the question is in my mind, the main question is in my mind, is this watch worth $200 more than the Zelos? And trying to take everything into account, even the little details like the bezel movement, which is very positive, very, I don't want to say stiff because it's not stiff, it moves very nicely, but this one turns a little easier than the Zelos, which and also both of them have no slop, no play in them. So that's personal preference. I like my bezels to be a little bit more solid, a little bit harder to turn. But not so hard that it's like, oh, I can't do it, or I feel like I'm going to break the spring. So I'd say on these two, it's probably kind of even. This one's a little bit harder to turn, but fairly even. Color, I mean, they're both beautiful to me. Both gorgeous, both very unique looking watches. Both solid construction. The polish on both of them, the finish, the faceting, the finish on the bezel, the loom. It's all, in my mind, fairly equal. I mean, I really can't see a major difference that says, aha, this one is definitely, light years above the other one. So I guess to keep going back to the question, is this Squale worth $200 more than this Zelos? And my honest answer is no. I mean, it was still a good price. It was not a bad price for a Squale watch. I mean, Squales are a high quality, long established brand, and they reputation. They've made cases and other things for other dive watch companies, and they've been around for decades and decades. And Zelos is a newcomer to the market. It's only been around for a few years. They have, in my mind, a solid reputation in the micro brand, and I think they're ready to transcend the micro brand world and move forward. And they make a quality piece. And yes, full fair disclosure, I own 16 of these, and more will be coming in 2019. So I am a big fan of Zelos and a big supporter of Zelos. I own 4 Squales, so I'm a big fan of Squale and a big supporter of them. So I think I can say that my opinion is valid when I say that Zelos is making an excellent product that is certainly a great value for money, and every bit as good a watch as a watch that costs $200 more. Now, for $200 more, you certainly get more of a cachet with the Squale. For people who are in the know with watches, they're going to see that you own a Squale, and that has a certain reputation, a certain prestige, a certain provenance that Zelos doesn't have yet. But people who know watches and know micro brands know that Zelos is a quality watch and has a quality customer support and quality movements and parts and pieces and fit and finish. So is this watch worth $200 more? That's going to again come down to personal opinion. If you think that the prestige and cachet and provenance of owning a Squale is worth $200 more, paying $200 more than buying the Zelos, yeah, absolutely, go ahead. if you can get one of these. You can't right now. Maybe they get more of these down the line, but right now you can't buy this one except on the used market, and no, this one's not for sale. But that's my comparison. That's my opinion, and my opinion is valid to me. I think that the Zelos is absolutely worth the money. I think the Squale is worth the money. If I had to only buy one of them, I'd probably buy the Zelos and pocket the $200. But I was fortunate enough to be able to get both, so I'm happy that I got both. But if I had to pick one over the other, I can't. I mean, they're both beautiful and they both speak to me very well. So I really can't say one is a favorite over the other. But in terms of value for money, the Zelos has it. Quality watch, quality movement, quality materials, and $200 cheaper than another worthy competitor. So that's my opinion. Love them both. But the Zelos is definitely a great bargain, and I'm happy to have both, and I can't wait for my next Zelos purchase, and I can't wait for my next Squale purchase. So I'm going to leave it there. If you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate it if you give me a thumbs up. Comments down below. I answer all comments. All I ask is that you keep it clean and keep the nastiness to yourself, or you will be deleted. And if you enjoy the video and you're not already a subscriber, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to click the bell icon next to it so that you're informed of new videos when I post them. I wish you a good day, and I will see you in my next video.